how glad I am that I'm no longer doing the online dating thing. For those unfamiliar with Grindr, it's a gay dating app that shows guys nearby.
Ugh.
It makes you use your location while using the app, but it doesn't give your exact location unless you send it to the person directly. I got a message from a blank profile. No name, no pic, and no bio. The only thing that popped up was how close he was, less than a mile away. This happens a lot because there are a lot of closeted guys out there, especially back then. Being an overweight guy in the gay community, I had to take anything I could, because most gay guys in my community wouldn't even give me the time of day. He started off nice enough, introduced himself as Jesus, and asked how I was doing and all of that sort of small talk. He told me he was into chubbier guys, and after exchanging pics, we both agreed that we found the other one attractive. He asked me if I'd like to come over to play video games and maybe have some fun. I'd only met a couple of guys off of Grindr, and although we had some good times, it ultimately didn't pan out. However, I had met them somewhere public first, so I'd never met anyone at their place or had anyone come over to mine. I figured it had been long enough and some casual fun might be nice. Plus, he was really cute and actually my type. He agrees to come pick me up since I'm only a few blocks away. Apparently, he lived in the nearby trailer park. I decide I'd like to shower first, and he says he'll head over. Then, he says he's really embarrassed to ask, but wonders if I'd be willing to lend him $20. Supposedly he lived with his mom, and she had left for the weekend without any food money for him. I know it was really stupid in hindsight, but I felt kind of bad for him. I tell him I don't have any cash, but he says that's okay, I can just send him some money through an app. I don't remember what it's called, but it was something like Venmo. I go ahead and send it, take my shower, and then let him know I'm ready. He says he's heading out, but can't find his keys. I say it's okay, I'll just wait outside for him. I hadn't given him my address yet, but I was almost ready to. However, when I asked if he had found them, he had never responded. Minutes went by, then an hour. I messaged him again to ask if he was still coming, and I could see him going on and offline, so I know he read my messages. I finally just accepted he was ghosting me and probably just wanted money. I messaged him one last time and told him that it was pretty messed up, as well as explained that had he just asked, I would have given him the money without having to go through all of that. What can I say? I can be a softie sometimes. Fast forward a couple of weeks. I never heard back from him, so I just blocked him. I get another message from someone on Grindr relatively close to me. His profile is also blank, which raises my suspicions. He tells me he's also into chubby guys, which really makes
What are
me
you talking about,
suspicious
Lily?
because it's highly unlikely two chubby chasers live so close to me. We trade pics again, and
This
it's a
is some
different
weird
guy.
stuff going on in this video.
However, he suddenly asks for money again.
Oh,
On
gosh.
Grindr, you can create as many accounts as you'd like. All you need is an email address. There were tons of spam accounts on there that were automated. It was a real pain. Anyways, I call him out because I was like 95% sure it was Jesus. At first, he acts like he doesn't know what I'm talking about, calls me crazy, and then blocks me. I felt a little bad because I thought maybe I had made a mistake and just chased off a guy for nothing. Then again, his sudden offensive reaction made me have doubts. Weeks go by, and every so often this same guy tries to fool me even though I don't fall for it. Eventually, I blow up on him and ask him what his problem is. We start going at it, and eventually he says, "You won't say that to my face." I tell him that I would gladly tell him this in person, not that I expected him to actually show up this time. He responded with, "All right, we'll see about that. Be there soon."
Ugh.
Now, I was a little worried at this point because it crossed my mind that he may not actually be gay and might be some homophobe looking to bash some gay guys. My mind always goes back to those men who have lost their lives after meeting up with someone on Grindr. However, I realize I never gave him my address. Now, this is the conversation we had. I say, "Nice try, but I never gave you my address." "Yes, you did, stupid. You just didn't know it was me. Be ready. I'm on the way." At this point, my anxiety starts setting off because I did give my address to a guy who had to cancel last minute. But I didn't think anything of it because it was before Jesus had messaged me a second time. I tried to think about what to do, so I decided to try and document his threats. I respond, I know I didn't give you my address. Besides, what do you want with me anyway? You'll see. I've got something for you.
Duh.
Now,
Call
the
him the
trailer
pipe.
park is always having police go by there, and my neighborhood is separated from theirs by a bayou. At night, I always heard gunshots out there, so I began to panic. What if he had a gun? What if he brought friends with him? I say, oh yeah? And what's that? Something that'll shut you up. I'm outside. I started freaking out because I couldn't tell if he was just trying to mess with me or if he really was outside. I had been screenshotting everything and sent it to the Grindr admins to report him for credible threats of violence. I wasn't sure if I should call the cops or not because
Call the
if he
cops.
was lying, I didn't want to look stupid. Plus, I wasn't sure if it was even enough for them to do anything. I decided to peek outside from the upstairs window and see if I could spot him. If I could get the make and model of his car, maybe I could at least have something to give the police. I live in the middle of a cul-de-sac, so when I look out the window, I can see all the way to the end of the street. When I looked out, I saw a car I'd never seen before parked on the side of the road at the end. My heart was pounding me because I just knew it was him, but a part of me was hoping it wasn't. I decided I'd test him and see if he really was out there. He says, I'm waiting. I'm outside already, where are you? Of course I wasn't, but if that was him, and he did know my address, then why wouldn't he just park outside my house? Sure enough, I was right. Yeah,
They busting nuts.
you're gonna get it now. Then give it to me, I'm right here. Just you wait. I knew he couldn't see me from his car because I was peeking out discreetly and our windows have a privacy shade on them where people only see a black screen from the outside. A few more minutes go by and the car takes off. I have a feeling that he used Grindr to triangulate the area of where my neighborhood was, but of course he couldn't find my exact house because it hadn't been him who I'd given my address to. Grindr later sent me a message saying that he'd been banned from the app and they'd contacted the local authorities. I never heard anything else after that, so I don't know what became of it. The cops never contacted me if they did pay him a visit, and I never heard from him again. Now I'm married, so I don't use Grindr anymore, thankfully. Still, it took a while before I was able to sleep soundly after that. I rarely left the house, and when I did, I always made sure his car wasn't around, anywhere.